The Layer's a hard place to live. Real hard. Ain't no soft landing nowhere in here. Smiling at you like it already know your name, already in the room when you walk in. That's the slings and arrows, you don't hear them fly, you just feel that sting and wonder where it came from. Whole layer wrapped in dark mystery. Old magic in the walls. Wizards whispering deals they don't keep. Dragons watching from the shadows, counting bodies like loose change. Succubus love looks sweet at first, then you wake up lighter than you went to sleep. Heart tax, soul pawn. It's war out here. Quiet war. Betrayal wears silk and smile real nice. Same cats break bread with you. Be the one selling your name 2 streets over. This whole thing a stone cold trip, baby. No fair fights, no refunds. So whatever shield you walk around with, it better be battle tested. Not shiny. Not shiny. Not fresh out the armory, I'm talking chip paint. Bent edges. Blood you couldn't wash off even if you tried. Cause the Layer don't care how fly you look in your armor. They care what's still holding when the smoke drifts off. If you still here tomorrow, still breathing, still standing on your square, then yeah, you's a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
Layer.
What up, party people? Your dreams have now been fulfilled. Get out your seat and let's get ill. Broadcasting live from the West Coast, Oakland, California, to be specific. You are in the Layer, and I am the Night. What's going on, A-Dub? I try to pin the link. The link won't allow me to pin it. And I don't even see it there no more. So let me try to do it again. I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to copy and paste it and try it again. This is what StreamYard does, y'all. All this stuff has a mind of its own. You got to troubleshoot and figure it out, right? The Elgato wasn't working. We had to play around with it, get it to ghetto. Hey, Misty Blue. Your boy a little tired. I've been sipping. But I still want to do some content. I might not be here the whole 6 hours. Once I feel myself, drifting in the darkness, I'm gonna try to step away from y'all. Yeah, when I click the thing, it's saying go to channel, put in your timeout, put user in timeout, and hide whatever. Let's see what go to channel does. Go to channel brings me back here. There's something off. But that's the thing. We troubleshoot. Build it while we flying is what they used to say, right? We're gonna delete this again, and we're gonna try again. Um, I don't even give me the option to delete it. Interesting. Hey Dub, can you see the link in the chat? Can you copy the link and put it back in the chat? Or I can go to Discord and sit it in Discord. Could you copy the link and put it in the chat? See if I can pin it that way. So many bitches. It's off of me to pick one. But if I got to, I want the rich one. I want the rich one. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. So many bitches. Okay, I'm finna put it over there because this right here is not allowing me to pin it. So let me go to the Discord. So many bitches. It's hard for me to pick one. But if I got to, I want the thick one. Girl, you are to me more than any woman could be. And I dedicate my love. And we both know that our love will grow and forever it will be you and me. Ooh, you're like the sun, chasing all of the rain away. When you come around, you bring brighter days. You're the perfect one for me, and you forever will be. And I will love you so for always. Let me see. We got some. Welcome, Stan Archer. We hope you brought pizza. Stan Archer, we hope you brought pizza. We hope you brought pizza. Interesting. I see No Chase has been making some more of me and his baby dragon. Let me see what you're working with. Well, I got an eye patch. I lost the eye, and our shield is a skull. Other than that, I think it's pretty cool. Why is on that mantle? I mean, pedestal. I don't know, but other than that, it's cool. This one look a little bit more like me. Nidus takes trolls, pay up or turn back. Both hurt. Yeeky. I look a little bugged and crazy, but shout out to the Knight's Lair. So many bitches. It's hard for me to pick one, but if I got to, I want the thick one. I want the thick one. Mm. So that thing took me to Discord. I need who's in Discord? I need man, where is that at? So many bitches. It's hard for me to pick one. But if I got to, I want the thick one. Yeah. Okay. You see, you said you put it in the chat. Let me see if I can pin it now that you've done it. So many bitches. I believe that's it. It says channel activity. Go to channel, pin message. Did that work? Thank you, A Dub. So it's pinned now. What's going on, Rapid One Fitness? Yeah, I'm gonna do a short, little quick one because I'm already tired. Um, because I've been up BS, and life much more serious than this. Um, let me see your effing tongue ring. Let me see your tongue ring. Let me see your tongue ring. Let me see. Let's see. So many bitches offer me to pick one, but if I got to, I want the thick one. I want the thick one. Yeah, yeah. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We're gonna go right here. Y'all call this man y'all president. Uh, two. Damn it, I don't want to be up there long. I'm gonna get them hours in to keep it pushing. Is we on stage? We are.
Wait
All
a
I show
minute,
wait when
JB.
y'all
So you're gonna tell me you never seen a rich nigga that got shitted on and used and abused, and a
absolutely
chick and a broke nigga that did that driving a chick Nissan and shit and trapping and shit out of the. You
facts.
know what I'm saying? It don't mean
Yeah.
that money gonna get you more
No,
respect.
no. What makes
Or
him attractive is his status and his personality and his character and how people.
And it is. Now you say status. Yeah, status in the street. If you can muster together 20, 30 dudes to come to somebody else, yeah, status. If them that 30 foot of people, I don't know how many water hoses as well. Cause he's saying it's about nah. If dude is a gangster, he got a bunch of gangster partner, and they got some motion and making shit move. She gonna be attracted to the motherfucker. Got some motion and making shit move until the feds or the police kick her door in. Then all of a sudden she gonna unloose her. I'm just a girl.
Fucks with him. He become a celebrity
So
in
are
his
your
ghetto.
girlfriends cute,
If he's the
pretty?
celebrity in his ghetto, of course he gonna get treated like a celebrity.
Are your
But
girlfriends pretty
wait
all
a
I
too?
show
minute,
wait when
JB.
y'all
So you're
I,
gonna tell me you never seen a rich nigga that got shitted on and used and abused, and a
absolutely
chick and a broke nigga that did that driving a chick Nissan and shit and trapping and shit out of the. You
facts.
know what I'm saying? It don't mean
yeah.
that money gonna get you more
No,
respect.
no. What makes
Or
him attractive is his status and his personality and his character and how people fucks with him. He become a celebrity
So
in
are
his
your
ghetto.
girlfriends cute,
If he's the
pretty?
celebrity in his ghetto,
Nope, it's about how much motion you got. Swag is cool. All other stuff you saying that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. How much motion do you got? How much money can you put in her hand right now? Liquid. Are you in a friend zone? Has she already labeled you a a sugar daddy or a trick. At the end of the day, it's about how you see yourself and convincing other people to see you in the same manner, respectfully. Fuck her. Let's move forward. Get money, money, get money, money, get money, money. What's going on, Seymour Sachs? Um, yeah, I can feel I'm tired. Let's see. We going from that to us, which is why? Tell them that it's human nature. You do me that way. Playback speed 145. I wanna know what's going on. Yeah. Tell me what I gotta do to please you.
At 1601 Wood Street in West Oakland, behind a freeway overpass, down a road that dead ends at a chain-link fence, there is a Beaux-Arts train station with 40-foot ceilings, 3 massive arched windows, marble floors, and terracotta tile. It was designed by Jarvis Hunt, one of the finest railroad station architects in the country, and it opened on August 3, 1912. For decades, this was the western terminus of the Transcontinental Railroad, the last stop, the end of the line, the place where America ran out of continent. Hundreds of thousands of people stepped off trains here and into a new life. The building is locked. It has been closed since 1994. The marble is cracked. The windows are boarded or broken. Graffiti covers the lower walls. It has been about to be restored for 30 years. It is the most beautiful building in Oakland, and it is the most perfect symbol of what happened to this city. Because the story of Oakland is the story of a place that was always somebody else's gateway, somebody else's investment, somebody else's instrument. And every time the somebody moved on, Oakland got left with what remained. The city was not even supposed to be called Oakland. In 1850, it was just a patch of shoreline across the bay from San Francisco, known informally as Contra Costa, Spanish for opposite shore. That name tells you everything about how the world has always seen this place, not as a destination, but as the other side. 3 men, Horace Carpentier, Edson Adams, and Andrew Moon, arrived from the east with no money and considerable ambition, backed at one point by a small army of about 200 men hired out of San Francisco, and began squatting on land that belonged to the Peralta family, holders of a 44,000-acre Spanish land grant. Carpentier.
We listen to what's the name, and we got it pulled up. RRR Fina. What's happening? Like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. Become a member of the layer. Let's do all of the shit. You know what I mean? Get it packed. Oakland. Supposed to been the city. Oakland was supposed to be the sister city to Detroit.
Here was a Columbia-trained lawyer from upstate New York, 26 years old, who had come to California for the gold rush, but found that lawyering paid better than panning. He got himself appointed enrolling clerk in the state legislature, the man who handled copies of every new law. And in 1852, he slipped a bill through to incorporate the town of Contra Costa under a new name, Oakland. The residents, most of whom didn't even know their town had been renamed, woke up one morning to discover they were living in a city they hadn't voted for, named by a man most of them had never met. What Carpentier did next set the template for everything that would follow. 2 weeks after incorporation, on May 17, 1852, he persuaded the town's trustees to pass an ordinance granting him, personally, exclusively, complete control of Oakland's entire waterfront. The right to build every wharf, every pier, every dock. The right to collect duties on every piece of cargo that landed. In a port town, that meant Carpentier owned the mechanism by which money entered the city. He was elected the first mayor in 1854, in an election that produced more votes than voters. And when the fraud was discovered the following year, he was removed. But the waterfront stayed his. He later transferred his rights to an entity called the Oakland Waterfront Company, of which he made himself president. The city spent decades trying to break his grip. He eventually drifted back to New York, donated $200,000 to Columbia University, and died in 1918 at the age of 93. A respected philanthropist on the East Coast and a synonym for corruption on the West. Oakland was a city born from the theft of its own front door. The railroad arrived in the late 1860s, and it came to Oakland not because Oakland was important, but because Oakland's geography was useful. The Central Pacific needed a terminus on the bay, a place where trains could meet ferries, and Oakland's shoreline offered the flat land and the access. In 1868, they built the Oakland Long Wharf, a pier stretching out into the bay where passengers could transfer from rail to water. The wharf, the rail yards, the switching facilities, all of it was built in West Oakland, and for a generation it was the neighborhood's economic engine. The Southern Pacific Railroad, which absorbed the Central Pacific, became the city's largest employer. But the railroad wasn't investing in Oakland. It was investing in a corridor. Oakland was the place you passed through on the way to San Francisco. Still, corridors generate commerce, and Oakland grew. By 1880, the population had reached 34,000. By 1900, it was nearly 67,000. And then, at 5:12 in the morning on April 18, 1906, the San Andreas Fault ruptured 2 miles offshore, and everything changed. The earthquake itself damaged Oakland badly. Brick buildings cracked, chimneys collapsed, water mains broke. The 12th Street Dam was compromised. But across the bay, San Francisco was being annihilated. The quake and the fires that followed destroyed 28,000 buildings and left more than 225,000 people homeless. Within 72 hours, over 150,000 refugees poured into Oakland, doubling the city's population in 3 days. They came by ferry, by rail, by any conveyance they could find. Oakland set up relief stations at the Broadway Depot, served hot coffee and bread, established shelter camps, and tried to absorb a human wave that exceeded anything the city had ever imagined. Many of those refugees never left. Oakland's population, which had been 67,000 in 1900, hit 150,000 by 1910. The city went from town to metropolis in a single decade, and it was built not on its own ambition, but on someone else's catastrophe. Entire neighborhoods materialized. The building boom produced the Union Bank building, the First National Bank, the Oakland Hotel, the Security Bank building. Tall buildings, real buildings, structures that announced a city confident enough to build upward. And behind that confidence was a man who understood that the real money wasn't in buildings at all. It was in the land around them. Francis Marion Smith was born in Wisconsin in 1846, prospected his way across the American West, and by the 1870s had discovered massive deposits of borax in the Nevada desert. His company's logo, the 20 Mule Team, became nationally famous. He made a fortune in cleaning supplies, settled in Oakland, built a mansion, and then looked around and saw an opportunity that had nothing to do with borax. Starting in the 1890s, Borax Smith began buying up every independent streetcar line in the East Bay. He and his partner Frank Havens created a company called the Realty Syndicate and purchased about 13,000 acres of undeveloped land, more than 20 square miles, in the hills and flatlands around Oakland. Then they built streetcar lines to serve that land. The genius of the scheme was that the transit system wasn't a transportation business. It was a real estate business. You laid track into empty hills, the track made the hills accessible, you sold the lots, and the buyers, who now needed the streetcar to get to work, became your captive customers. The streetcar system, eventually known as the Key System, stretched from Richmond to San Leandro, with a line running out on a pier into the bay where passengers transferred to ferries bound for San Francisco. At its peak in the 1920s, the Key System carried more than 100 million passengers a year. Smith and Havens didn't just build transit lines, they built destinations. In 1906, Smith constructed the Claremont Hotel, a grand resort in the hills above Berkeley, and ran a streetcar line directly to its front door. The E-line terminated between 2 tennis courts on the hotel's lower grounds. He built Idora Park, an amusement park, as another ridership generator. He platted neighborhoods, Piedmont Pines, Havens Court, Key Route Heights, and named the streets after himself and his partners. For a decade, it looked like it might work. Then, the East Bay didn't develop as fast as he had predicted. His land companies couldn't sell lots quickly enough to cover expenses. In 1913, Borax Smith's empire collapsed, and he was forced out of his own creation. He died in 1931, largely forgotten. The streetcar system he built would survive him by almost 3 decades, but it was never really profitable. The man who had built Oakland's transit network had built it to sell real estate. And when the real estate stopped selling, the transit was an orphan. But Oakland in the 1920s didn't know any of that yet. The 1920s were Oakland's decade, the closest the city ever came to standing fully upright next to San Francisco and looking it in the eye. In 1915, Joseph Noland, a former United States congressman, bought the Oakland Tribune newspaper. He moved its offices to a 6-story building at 13th and Franklin, the former Bruner Furniture Company. And in 1923, he hired architect Edward T. Folks to add a tower. Folks designed a 22-story clock tower inspired by the Campanile at St. Mark's Basilica in Venice, with a copper mansard roof that oxidized to a distinctive green. At 305 feet, it was the tallest building in Oakland, visible from virtually anywhere in the city. The newspaper's radio station, KLX, broadcast from the top floor. On the building's 9th story in 1923, Harry Houdini hung upside down in a straitjacket and freed himself in front of a crowd gathered on the street below. The Tribune Tower became Oakland's postcard, its proof that it was a real city with a real skyline. 5 years later, on October 27, 1928, the Fox Oakland Theater opened its doors at 1807 Telegraph Avenue. Designed by the firm of Weeks and Day in a style that mixed Art Deco with Moorish and Indian influences, the building cost an estimated $2 million. It seated 2,800 people under a ceiling so ornate, crystal chandeliers, painted murals, plasterwork thick as icing, that first-time visitors reportedly spent the entire first reel looking up instead of at the screen. William Fox, founder of Fox Film Corporation, built it as part of his national chain of movie palaces. 20,000 people tried to attend the opening. The building's tower, with its terracotta detailing and geometric patterns, rose above Telegraph Avenue like a secular cathedral. Oakland had its landmark theater, its landmark tower, its streetcar system, its port, its ferries, its neighborhoods climbing into the hills. The population hit 284,000 by 1930. Everything seemed to be pointing up. Then the Depression hit. Then the Depression ended. And what replaced it was something Oakland never recovered from. Not because it was bad, but because it was so overwhelmingly, deceptively good. On December 7, 1941, the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, and within days the federal government transformed the entire San Francisco Bay into the most productive shipbuilding complex on Earth. The Oakland Army Base and Naval Base were created on hundreds of acres of reclaimed tideland. The port was brought under military control, and across the bay in Richmond, a man named Henry J. Kaiser, who had no experience whatsoever in building ships, secured contracts to construct hundreds of cargo vessels using assembly line techniques borrowed from the automobile industry. Kaiser's 4 Richmond shipyards employed nearly 80,000 workers at their peak. In Oakland proper, Moore Dry Dock employed another 35,000. But the Bay Area didn't have enough workers, so Kaiser sent trains south to Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Texas, and recruited thousands of sharecroppers and tenant farmers, many of them black, with promises of steady wages and a new life in California. They came on special trains, entire families, arriving at the 16th Street station and stepping out of the Pullman cars into a West Oakland that was nothing like anything they had known. Before the war, black residents made up about 3% of Oakland's population, roughly 8,000 people. By 1950, that number had exploded to nearly 48,000, 12% of the city. The total population surged to over 400,000 by 1945, the highest in Oakland's history. And for a brief, extraordinary period, West Oakland became one of the most vibrant black communities in America. 7th Street, the neighborhood's commercial spine, was lined with barbershops, grocery stores, pharmacies, pool halls, restaurants, and, above all, music clubs. By the mid-1940s, more than 15 nightclubs operated along the corridor. They called it the Harlem of the West. Slim Jenkins' Supper Club was the upscale room where you dressed for dinner and heard polished jazz. Down the street, rougher joints played Delta blues, brought north by the same men who had come to build ships. Lowell Fulson, Big Mama Thornton, Jimmy Witherspoon, Sugar Pie DeSanto, B.B. King, Aretha Franklin, they all played 7th Street. A man named Bob Geddens, working out of a studio at 7th and Center Streets under the label Big Town Records, became the first black record label owner in the Bay Area. He pressed his own records at his own plant, loaded them into the trunk of his car, and drove them to juke joints and record shops across California. The Pullman porters who worked the trains out of the 16th Street station carried those records east, and the music of Oakland's 7th Street spread across the country. It was the finest hour of the 16th Street station's life. Every train that arrived brought someone new. Every departure carried something Oakland had made, a record, a ship, a story. The station was, for once, not just a corridor. It was the center of something. But the war ended, and ending was the worst thing that could have happened. The shipyards closed, Moore Dry Dock scaled down, the defense jobs evaporated. And at exactly the moment Oakland's wartime economy collapsed, 2 forces arrived that would spend the next 3 decades dismantling the city from the inside. The first was the automobile. Before the war, most Oakland residents got around by streetcar, and the Key system, now running trains across the lower deck of the Bay Bridge into San Francisco, was the backbone of daily life. But returning GIs wanted cars, and the federal government wanted highways. In 1946, a company called National City Lines, backed by General Motors, Firestone Tires, and Standard Oil, acquired 64% of Key system stock. The streetcar lines were systematically dismantled and replaced with buses. In 1958, a Key system train crossed the Bay Bridge for the last time. The tracks were pulled up, the right-of-way was given over to automobiles. Oakland's transit spine was gone. The second force was concrete. In 1937, highway planners in Sacramento had begun drawing lines on maps, plotting where the new freeways would go. The routes they chose ran directly through Oakland's Asian, Latino, and black neighborhoods, the communities with the least political power to resist. When Interstate 880 was built, it slammed through Chinatown and the Mexican community west of Broadway. Then it continued north as the Cypress Street Viaduct, a double-decker freeway that opened on June 11, 1957, and cut directly through the heart of West Oakland. The structure functioned like a wall, dividing the neighborhood in half. Homes, businesses, a YMCA, and an orphanage were demolished or displaced. The construction of the Cypress Viaduct alone displaced over 600 families. Combined with the surrounding urban renewal projects, more than 5,000 housing units in West Oakland were destroyed. And the urban renewal was, if anything, worse than the highway. The Oakland Redevelopment Agency, created in 1956, designated about 50 blocks in West Oakland for demolition, including parts of the historic heart of 7th Street. The agency had the power of eminent domain. It could seize properties, raise them, and hand the land to developers. Its first project, the Acorn development, cleared the land and then did nothing with it for 5 years, leaving a giant barren patch in the middle of a neighborhood that had been alive with music and commerce just a decade.
What a reefer got to do with it? So many bitches. It's hard for me to pick one. But if I got to, I want the thick one. Y'all hit the like button on the way in. It's the same old shit, different day. What's going on, Marcus Evans? You can barely see the damn names in here. We got Seymour, we got A Dub. But if I got to, I want the rich one. Hello, Misty Blue. I'm seeing stuff inside here that I'm not seeing out here. R Finna. Okay, that's on the vertical side. Oh, they on the vertical side. Shout out to everybody that's on the vertical side. We're gonna move forward. Talking about Oakland.
Earlier. The jazz clubs closed, the record shops shuttered, the barbers, the grocers, the pharmacists. They lost their customers to demolition crews and highway on-ramps. Meanwhile, the same freeways that gutted West Oakland made it easy for white residents to leave. The post-war suburbs, Walnut Creek, Concord, Fremont, Hayward, were suddenly 20 minutes away by car. The federal government was subsidizing home loans for white veterans through the GI Bill and the FHA, while redlining policies made it nearly impossible for black families to get mortgages in the new suburbs. The white middle class drove out on the freeways. The black working class stayed behind, in neighborhoods that had just been cut in half by elevated concrete. Between 1950 and 1970, Oakland lost nearly 10,000 jobs and 23,000 residents. Alameda County as a whole gained manufacturing jobs during the same period.
Wow, I remember the manufacturing jobs. Playing us like chess. It will be the haves and the have-nots. Everybody else, meh.
The jobs didn't disappear. They moved to the suburbs, on the roads that Oakland's tax dollars had helped build. Later, Interstate 980 was completed in 1985, and it created a literal wall between West Oakland and downtown, a sunken freeway with sheer concrete embankments that made it nearly impossible to cross on foot. West Oakland was now entirely encircled by freeways. I-880 to the west, I-980 to the east, I-580 to the north. A neighborhood that had once been the center of black life in the Bay Area was physically cut off from the rest of its own city. The cruelest irony came at 5:04 in the afternoon on October 17, 1989. The Loma Prieta earthquake, magnitude 6.9, struck the Bay Area during Game 3 of the World Series, a World Series between the Oakland Athletics and the San Francisco Giants, with 62,000 fans watching at Candlestick Park. Across the bay, the upper deck of the Cypress Viaduct, the freeway that had been ran through West Oakland 32 years earlier, pancaked onto the lower deck, crushing the cars beneath it like a hand closing on a row of tin cans. 42 people died in the collapse. The structure had not been seismically sound. Engineers had known for years that its reinforced concrete design was vulnerable. The freeway that had destroyed the neighborhood now killed people inside it. After the collapse, West Oakland residents fought successfully to prevent Caltrans from simply rebuilding the freeway on the same route. The Cypress Viaduct was demolished, and the roadway was rerouted around the western and southern edges of the neighborhood. In its place, a tree-lined boulevard was built, Mandela Parkway, named for Nelson Mandela. It was an improvement. But the vibrant community that the freeway had originally displaced, the clubs, the shops, the homes, that was gone. You cannot plant trees on top of a wound and call it.
You can't plant trees on the top of a wound and call it. Now I'm looking at this right here. Tree was planted by volunteers. This looked like a back street.
Healed. 2 years after the earthquake, on October 19, 1991, Oakland absorbed another blow. A small brush fire in the hills above the city, the kind that had burned the same slopes 3 previous times in the century, reignited after firefighters thought it was controlled. Pushed by fierce Diablo winds, it exploded into a firestorm. At its peak, the fire was destroying one house every 11.
Yeah, that 89 quake, they call it Loma Prieta. Loma Prieta. We got 64 people in the building. I hope they're active participants. Y'all know what we like y'all to do. Listen, like, comment, and subscribe. That's what we want to do. Let me see, refresh. Wow, we got 54 people in the building and only 8 likes. Please hit the like button. I'm asking for a friend. I'm asking for a friend. Please hit the like button. Like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all supposed to have me up to 1,000 subscribers. We got 6 and some change. I need another 3 and some change. Get that subscription button.
11 seconds. In its first hour, 790 structures burned. The Hiller Highlands neighborhood, 1,800 townhomes, was consumed in minutes. Residents fled down winding hillside roads, some abandoning their cars and running on foot as the fire overtook them. 9 people died on a single stretch of Charing Cross Road when a burning car fell from a ridge above and blocked their escape route. By the time the winds died down that evening, 25 people were dead, 150 were injured, and 3,469 homes and apartment units had been destroyed. The damage totaled $1.5 billion, more than $3 billion in today's money. If the winds had continued, the fire would have reached downtown Oakland. So by the early 1990s, the ledger looked like this. The freeways had dismembered West Oakland. The earthquake had killed 42 people in the wreckage of a freeway that should never have been built there. The firestorm had destroyed 3,400 homes in the hills. And the Fox Theater, that Moorish palace on Telegraph Avenue, had been closed since 1973 and sat empty, its interior deteriorating, its marquee dark. The Tribune Tower was still standing, but the newspaper that gave it its name had been damaged in the earthquake and moved its offices to...
Man, what's happening? Why is it cut off like that? Come on. Why is it cut off like that? Your heads are cut off.
Jack London Square. The 16th Street station, closed in 1994, was slowly succumbing to vandalism and water damage. Oakland was a city of magnificent buildings that nobody was using. And then the team started leaving. Oakland had once been a 3-sport city, a rare and genuine thing. The Raiders played football at the Coliseum. The Athletics played baseball there, too, sharing the same aging concrete bowl. The Golden State Warriors played basketball at the Oakland Arena next door. For decades,
all 3 are gone. A's, Warriors, and Raiders.
You could watch professional football in the fall, basketball in the winter, and baseball in the summer without ever leaving Oakland. The teams were woven into the city's identity, especially in black and working-class neighborhoods where the silver and black of the Raiders or the green and gold of the A's were marks of loyalty and place. The Warriors left first. In 2019, the team moved across the bay to San Francisco, to the Chase Center, a gleaming billion-dollar arena on the waterfront. The Warriors had played in Oakland since 1971. They had won championships there. But San Francisco had money, and Oakland did not, and the economics were simple. The Warriors are now the most valuable team in the NBA, worth an estimated $9 billion, according to one analysis. They earned that valuation in San Francisco. The Raiders left next. The team had been born in Oakland in 1960, moved to Los Angeles in 1982, returned to Oakland in 1995, and then, in 2020, moved again, this time to Las Vegas, lured by a 1 point...
Hey, man. Hey, man. Just goes to show you, do you really think you're in control? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly. My heroes have the heart to live the life out on a limb. But I remember thinking I want to be like him. Ooh. 'Cause when you're out there, out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. 10 likes, huh? Just knew too much. We're going through a little bit of Oakland history while y'all come into the building before we move forward into other things.
$9 billion stadium underwritten by $750 million in public subsidies. Raiders owner Mark Davis blamed the Athletics for squatting on a Coliseum lease that prevented stadium improvements. The Athletics blamed the city for not building them a new ballpark. The city blamed both teams for not investing. Everyone blamed everyone, and the Raiders left. The Athletics were last. After 57 years in Oakland, the A's played their final home game on September 26, 2024, a 3-2 win over the Texas Rangers. Fans came dressed in funeral attire. Some cried openly. The team is moving to Sacramento temporarily, then to Las Vegas permanently. Major League Baseball owners approved the relocation unanimously. In the space of 5 years, Oakland went from a 3-sport city to a no-sport city. The Coliseum, once home to sold-out playoff games, Rickey Henderson stealing bases, the autumn wind echoing through the corridors, is now an empty concrete monument to civic failure. The city tried to sell its 50% stake in the Coliseum site to a developer called the African American Sports and Entertainment Group for $125 million and planned to use the money to plug its budget deficit. The developer's payments have been late and controversial. The deal was negotiated under Mayor Shang Tao, who was recalled by 60% of voters in November 2024, the first successful mayoral recall in Oakland's history. And so
with so much drama. And they kept like going after this person. I don't know if that's a lady or what's going on, but yeah, they kept going after this person.
subsequently indicted by federal prosecutors on conspiracy and bribery charges in an unrelated corruption case. She has pleaded not guilty. The Coliseum deal, as of now, is still technically alive. That budget deficit, by the way, is not a small number. In 2023, Oakland faced the largest shortfall in its history, $360 million over 2 fiscal years. The city's real estate transfer tax revenue, a levy on property sales that had been booming during the pandemic housing rush, collapsed. The city had budgeted for $110 million from the tax. It collected $53 million. Officials said real estate transaction volume was lower than during the Great Recession. The Finance Department projects a structural annual deficit of roughly $120 million through 2027. The businesses that generated tax.
So even your government is messing up money. They betting on ass. They want to spend. They want to allocate X amount of dollars, but they got half of that, and then they gonna play with it. So you ain't gonna see none of it. And now the city looks like dystopia because all the teams are gone and nobody wants to take accountability or be responsible.
Tax revenue have been leaving. In September 2023, Target closed its stores in Oakland, citing threats to employee and customer safety. In November 2023, 2 Starbucks locations and a Subway on Hegenberger Road closed after repeated car break-ins targeting their customers.
They call it bipping. It's hard for me to pick one, but if I got to, I want the rich one.
I want to thank you for got me a couple of dollars. Guess what I'm gonna do?
Shout out to Fashion with Voice with the 440 jewels and an Unk alert. Shout out to that. I don't even know what that means, but shout out to it anyway. Appreciate it. Ow!
In January 2024, a Denny's that had been on Hegenberger Road for 54 years shut down after a series of crimes. The same month, In-N-Out Burger, a brand so beloved in California that its closures make statewide news, announced it was closing its only Oakland location, citing danger to employees and customers. It was the first In-N-Out to close in the chain's history. Robberies in Oakland increased 38% in 2023. Burglaries rose 23%. Motor vehicle theft jumped 44%. Roughly 1 out of every 30 Oakland residents had a car stolen that year. There were over 14,500 motor vehicle thefts, nearly 2 per hour around the clock every day of the year. In September 2023, more than 200 business owners shut their doors for a day in a coordinated strike, a desperate plea to city leaders for more police and better public safety. The city's police department was short about 100 officers. Kaiser Permanente, one of Oakland's largest employers, sent a memo to downtown workers suggesting they bring their own food to the office or have it delivered, rather than going out for lunch, following a string of daytime robberies. The Catholic Diocese of Oakland announced that St. Anthony's School would close because of serious safety concerns, including the presence of human trafficking operations near the school grounds. A restaurant called
Man, hey man, say man. That's the deterioration of the city and the lack of responsibility that the folks want to take. And you know, It's hitting hard. When you call like 4 or 5 different government agencies and not one of them call you back, now I gotta wake up today and call them again. Y'all saying F the people. I've been going back and forth calling city officials for the last 3, 4 months around here, and they all passed the buck. What you got? You got St. Vincent de Paul, I believe that's the name of it. We don't got no funding. You got what's that other one? You got something called Hera. You got something called Echo. You got all these different. None of them say, "Hey, we can't do nothing." So now the house is gone. Now the house is gone. I'm just here while they, going through the rigmarole. Um, and I'm still calling government agencies with no response. A lot of stuff is allowed to happen. And people, they want people to suffer because they want people to crash out. We finna take all your shit. Now sit back while we let all this time run out and don't give you no kind of fucking, recourse or support or do any of this shit. Our whole fucking business mission statement is business mission statement.
Kingston 11, a community food center serving low-income families, had its glass doors smashed by vandals. Eddie's Drive-In Liquors was hit by smash and grab robbers 4 times between November 2023 and early 2024, including once when thieves drove a truck through the glass storefront. California Governor Gavin Newsom eventually deployed 120 California Highway Patrol officers to Oakland in a surge operation to crack down on theft and violent crime. The deployment was, effectively, an admission that the city could not police itself. The irony that sits beneath all of this is that Oakland still has things that most struggling cities would kill for. The Port of Oakland handles 99% of the containerized goods entering and leaving Northern California. It supports nearly 100,000 jobs in the region and $174 billion in annual economic activity.
Shout out to that. I was looking at a thing today where a guy came to Oakland. He's a foodie, and he went and found 9 restaurants he considered to be There was like Vietnamese, Pakistani. There was a little some everything. But I could think of 9 restaurants that had nothing to do with his list. Like I told y'all before. Well, Trivago's is in Alameda, so let's take that one off. But you got Luca, you got Z Cafe, you got Chop Bar. What's in Oakland? Luca, Z Cafe, Chop Bar. Sons of Liberty is in Sally Angel, so not that one. Sticky Fingers is in Sally Angel, so not that one. We going back to Oakland. You got Everett and Jones. You got we had a place called Talk of the Town. You got Off the Hook. I don't know if La Chris's is still open. Oakland. You got Lady Esther's. What else is out here? That's in Montclair. So what I say? I said, oh yeah, I didn't even think about Jack London Square. You got Yoshi's, you got Frank's, you got the waterfront. I didn't like that much. So Yoshi's, Frank's, Luca's, Chop Bar, Everett and Jones, Lady Esther's, Talk of the Town, Off the Hook, Delicious Food. Let me see. Scalari's, that's Alameda. Monkey Pub, that's Alameda. Just one more. Oakland. One more Oakland. I said Yoshi. That's more like a bar, club, restaurant. Um, one more. And what's going on, Douglas? Enric. Fasting. Let me see. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. We got Triple R Fina. What's going on with that individual? Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Hype me up, hit the hype button. We got super chats. We got super thanks. We got Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo. Let's get that banner rolling, right? Let's get that primordial ooze popping off. Get away from the diamond crested. Okay. Let's move forward.
It processes roughly 2.3 million container units a year and was the first major West Coast port to invest in container shipping infrastructure back in the 1960s. Oakland International Airport serves millions of passengers annually. The city sits at the center of one of the richest metropolitan economies in the world, ringed by technology companies and venture capital, a 20-minute train ride from San Francisco, a 40-minute drive from Silicon Valley. It has Lake Merritt, a tidal lagoon in the middle of downtown surrounded by parks, one of the oldest wildlife sanctuaries in America, designated in 1870. It has hills that give you views of the entire Bay Area, from the Golden Gate to the San Mateo Bridge on a clear day. It has the Fox Theater, which was finally gorgeously restored and reopened in 2009 as a concert venue after sitting dark for 36 years. The restoration was championed by Phil Tagami, an Oakland native and high school dropout whose parents had their first date at the Fox. He had been laughed at when he first proposed it. He got it done. Oakland is not a city that lacks assets. It is a city that has never been allowed, or never figured out how, to deploy those assets for its own benefit. The port...
They don't know what the F they doing. That's why you just got a bunch. You call 211, they give you a bunch of dead websites, a bunch of dead phone numbers that you got to leave messages on. That's abusive to the people. That's abusive to the people. It ain't supposed to be this challenging. And then you going to call these people and they got an attitude. Why do you keep calling here? Because all the shit you gave me don't work. Well, that's it. So it's just like, fuck me.
Generates billions in economic activity, but the jobs are in logistics and shipping, not in the neighborhoods where people live. The airport serves the region, not the city. The freeways move commuters through Oakland. They don't stop. The real estate that drove the city's tax base was always speculative. It boomed when San Francisco got too expensive and busted when the market softened. Oakland's economy has been, for most of its history, a derivative of San Francisco's economy, the way a shadow is a derivative of the thing casting it. When San Francisco prospers, some of the prosperity spills east. When it contracts, Oakland has nothing of its own to fall back on. The population tells the story in numbers. In 1860, Oakland had 1,543 residents. By 1910, it had 150,174. By 1930, 284,063. The wartime peak was around 405,000 in 1945. The 1950 census recorded 384,575. By 1980, it had dropped to about 339,000.
So growth in people, but not growth in income or management of said income. And we have a trickle down effect from San Francisco. That's a crazy thing to hear. We got 113 people watching, probably 92 over here, but we also got the vertical up. Again, shout out to them 113 people in the building. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. What did you say the number was? We need 360 what? We need, let me see. We trying to get to 1,000. Wow. We trying to get to 1,000. Wow. We got 628. 628. So we need 372. 372. Subscribe to the channel, y'all. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Share the channel. Hype the channel up. Hit the Cash App. Hit the PayPal. Hit the Venmo. We're just going through a little quick history lesson about the town. This is called the Knights Lair 510. 510 used to be 415. They changed that. Now it's 510.
Climbed back modestly through the 2010s, reaching roughly 440,000 by 2020, driven largely by spillover from San Francisco's housing crisis. But that growth came with a profound demographic shift. Oakland was 47% black in 1980. By 2020, it was 20% black. The number of black residents has dropped every decade for 40 years. Rising housing costs, loss of industry, and safety concerns pushed black families to Antioch, Fairfield, Stockton, cities 50 and 60 miles inland, places that are cheaper.
So they're going to make you get up out of Oakland. They're going to tell you to get the F on.
Thank you for the money. Cheese, Betty, the dough. Gouda, scratch, Skrilla, paper.
18th letter 78 with the 499 ball. Said, shout out to the OG. I love this history. The town has so much culture, especially for black folks. Black folks is being kicked out this bitch at a rapid rate. They losing their homes. They can't afford the rent. So like he said, they're going to Antioch. They're going to Stockton. They're going to Richmond. You know, they got to agitate the gravel. Some of the best. But shout out to the 18th letter in the building. I heard the 18th letter earlier scrambling and scraping with Sexy Red. You seemed a little upset. Seemed a little upset with the lady with the bell.
Precisely because they offer less of what Oakland once had. The community that built 7th Street, that filled the churches and the clubs, that shaped Oakland's culture from the 1940s onward, has been steadily dispersed. What remains in downtown Oakland today is a mixture of striking architecture, empty storefronts, and new residential buildings whose ground floor retail spaces were never leased. The Tribune Tower still stands at 13th and Franklin, its green copper roof still visible across the flats. But the newspaper is long gone. The Oakland Tribune published its last independent edition years ago, absorbed into a chain of East Bay papers. The tower was converted into residential and commercial space. Across downtown, office vacancy rates have climbed as remote work hollowed out the weekday population. The streets that were supposed to bustle with tech workers and new residents are quiet. There is a photograph from 1956, you can find it online, of 14th Street in West Oakland looking east toward downtown. The street is lined with 2- and 3-story buildings, awnings over shop fronts, cars parked at the curb, pedestrians on the sidewalk. It looks like a working American city. There is a matching photograph taken from the same spot in 2015. The buildings are gone. In their place is an empty lot, a freeway overpass, and the blank side of a warehouse. Between those two photographs is the entire history of post-war Oakland, a city that was systematically taken apart, piece by piece, by forces that were always presented as improvements. The freeway that would ease traffic, the urban renewal that would clear blight, the redevelopment that would attract investment. Each improvement required the demolition of something that was actually working. Each demolition made the next one easier to justify, because the neighborhood was a little more damaged, a little more vacant, a little less worth fighting for. Oakland.
What does that video Ice Cube say? Today, how you like when now I'm in the mix? It's 19. What it is that Max Henry Cube? What's that song? He say it used to be about How I start off? It's talking in the beginning. I think that song was For Life. I think that's Ice Cube and Mac 10. Where he said, how he start off the talking part. He say, what can I do? Today, how you like me now? Yeah, what can I do? But the talking part in the beginning where they said when society, it's not about somebody tearing down society, but when society itself, I forget the words right now. I'm a little lit and a little sleepy. But yeah, today, what can I do? I thought that song was For Life. For life, for life. Oh, no, it ain't. It ain't For Life. It's not. Let me see. Party people.
Come on in.
It's always a treat when players meet. Just
It's a couple of songs. 18th. They got. It's What Can I Do? And it's Black Steel and Our Chaos. Where they talk in the first part.
Yeah, that talking on the first part of that was off of Lethal Injection, and that part when he was saying America build the I think they say America build the prison to send its failures,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
but this in today's day and age, America itself is failing,
yeah.
and
That's
then that's when that when it comes on. Yeah, what can I do?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
my joint too. That whole Lethal Injection album,
That's
Ice
what's
Cube
happening.
top. Yeah, it's happening here too. That's happening here too.
Oh,
They trying to it's just it's it's a little bit more slower because they just had so many niggas here. But that's happening. Like in the 80s, it was 1 million black folks in the city of Chicago alone. Like a million to like 1.1 million within the city limits. Now we down to 750,000
mm.
in the city of
What's going
Chicago.
on, Ronnie? What's going on, Shicey Bomb?
They tore
Other
they
side.
tore down all our projects.
Oh
All our
yeah,
projects is gone.
and I heard people say that wasn't the greatest thing because all you did is spread the hood out into rural and the houses and whatever else, but they still had the same mentality.
Yeah, and you know, United project mentality is a little different from neighborhood hood mentality, because in the projects it's like dog eat dog, damn near. Like when it comes to, and they was used to being in them buildings. So you take a bunch of niggas that was hustling, that was selling dope, and you break down these projects. Now you sending them to areas, they gonna still keep doing the same thing. Now it's territorial disputes. You ain't from over here. You can't serve over here. Well, I'm gonna serve over here anyway.
Yeah.
And y'all gonna either y'all gonna move me or you gonna do whatever the fuck you gotta do. So then that's gonna bring conflict. That's gonna bring problems, and that's exactly what it did. When I first and just like what you were saying, people moving to Antioch and Stockton, people here either moving to Gary, which Chicago people already been in Gary. People moving up there to where JP at, Milwaukee,
Milwaukee.
start dispersing over there. People going to Iowa, Des Moines, the Quad Cities, and Davenport. And when I was in when I was living in Des Moines, they told me Waterloo was Little Chicago, Waterloo, Iowa, because most of the niggas out there was from Chicago. And um, where else they going? Or they going back down south, but it's between Indiana, Iowa, Wisconsin. Oh, and how can I forget Minneapolis? A lot of
A
niggas
lot of
shooting
people
up
left
there.
and went to Vegas.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people from the town. Yeah, people, because that's where the LA Negroes, the San Diego Negroes, and the Oakland Negroes
Yep,
meet
yep,
down there. And
yep.
because once you familiar with where the black folks at, and no matter what geographical location in the country, you know where they gonna disperse to when they start getting broken up. Just like a lot of New York people, Either they go to Connecticut, they go to Jersey, they go to if they go to down south, they go into the Carolinas. You know, because Izzy was over there in the Carolinas, I think, and
Yeah.
or they going to Virginia. You
Izzy
know,
said he was a gigolo the other day.
Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo.
Something like that. I heard you over there at Sexy Red. What was y'all bumping heads about?
No, just talking about the whole gender thing. I was quote unquote gender banging, but I just hate
No,
when
wait.
people.
I heard you was over there. She said, forgive her. She had to drop you because she's about to start, letting the thing go, and she don't want you to be catch a stray. And then you came back today, I guess.
Yeah, I guess because she had some smoke or she had some beef with some people.
Yeah.
And she wanted, yeah. I hate Shiesty Bum. I swear to God, I hate that heifer.
What she do?
18th love rambling and making up his own definitions. I don't be making up my own definitions, and I ain't rambling. Shiesty Bum.
I want 18th to stop reading the chat for free. Make folks go in their coin purse to get their chats read. You could answer them, but don't read they what they say.
All right, I got you.
Shiesty Bomb, no. Hey, she loved thumping people in the head, giving them noogies and wedgies and whatever else. Her, Reese, it's a few of them that be in the chat just beyond one. American Tradesman, I gotta throw you in there too. You be just saying some wild shit. Are the hood and the projects, are they the same? You can have people in the projects that will say that that's the hood.
I don't know. The projects is like a hood within the hood.
Yeah. The hood is not a physical place. The hood is a mentality. The project is a physical place. Now,
I remember.
I will say what 18 just said, that the hood, the projects are mini hood inside of the hood. Because project kids grow up differently than you can live right next to the hood. Like I said earlier, when I went to live with my father, I was at 1022 24th Street. 2 blocks over is 2-4 Village. So 2-4 Village absorb up all that space. So if you're in the vicinity of it, you could say you from there. But then people in that village got to agree with you. Because if you go somewhere and say you from there, but you didn't grow up in that village, you grew up a house by it or whatever else, they got to say, yeah, he's still whatever. If they don't say it, then no, you false flagging.
Yeah. Like I remember, because as a kid, I would go up to Cabrini Green. I would go to Robert Taylor and all of that. I remember you just driving for miles and miles and seeing nothing but buildings. We talking about like 17 stories. And we had low rises too. We had low rises like 6-9 Village, 6-5 Village over there in Oakland and all of that. The low rises was like the LeClaire Courts, Agale Gardens. We had another few. Oh, the Cabrini Green had low rises too, and that's the only thing that's left. All of the towers is gone. But I remember going up there, man. I'm like, dang, we just driving for like a mile and a half and seeing nothing but buildings, 17-story buildings.
Acorn is still there. The high rises and the low rises.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Campbell is the freeway collapsed on Cypress, if I'm not mistaken. But Campbell, the Acorns, the high rise, the low rise, it's like blocks and blocks of like projects. And 65th is some blocks too. It's just below International. Then 69th is a whole different set of projects. So like when people in the city be talking, I'd be like, it's kind of crazy for me because I was born at Children's Hospital. That's in North Oakland. The first place I remember living at was 73rd and Fresno Street. But my mother was on Section 8, so we bounced to a lot of different Section 8 places.
Me too, yeah.
But in the same vicinity. So we went from 73rd to Spencer Street, but Spencer Street is right from the apartment we lived on Spencer Street. We could jump a fence and be at my elementary school. When we lived on Fresno Street, you had to walk all the way down 73rd, past CP Bannon to Martin Luther King Library to get to the school. When we moved to Spencer Street, I could just hit a fence, but you wasn't supposed to climb that fence. You're supposed to walk around the corner, but hit that fence and you right in the front of Lockwood Elementary, the big open gate by the playground. And when you first walk into that gate right there, you are by the cafeteria to your right, and right next to the cafeteria is the kindergarten. And then if you walk into the doors from where the kindergarten is, now you're in the elementary school. And on the other side of elementary school, between Havens Court and Lockwood, was these portables for like kids with special needs. And then right next to that was Havens Court. So I went from kindergarten to elementary school to junior high, pretty much on the same block. It goes from 69th to Havens Court. Havens Court is the street. Now that 69 side, if you go down a little bit further, you're gonna be at Greenman's Field. That's where people from the village be having a hood day in Greenman's Field.
Oh, okay. Yeah, people in Cabrini Green, they still had a what they call it, a reunions, where everybody from the projects go
That's
back.
a hood day.
That's the hood day. Yeah, that's the hood day.
So like
Call
the
it.
people from the Twomps, 23rd and all that, they have like hood days and whatever else in San Antonio Park. That's on like 19th and Bancroft or something like that. Is it Bancroft?
So the Twants was projects too?
No, the Twomps is. Let me describe the Twomps. So the Twomps is 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th for the most part. We didn't hear about 28th like that. And 27th. So 23rd, 24th. They don't really talk about 24th like that. So really it's 23rd, 25th, 26th, 27th. And then, like when people say, I'm from 2-5, I always ask them which one. They're like, what you mean by that? Because there's two of them. It's one that's above Foothill and it's one that's below Foothill. And when people say they from 23rd, I ask them which one is that also. Because it's one below, let me see, below the East 20s, that's a different 23rd than above the East 20s. When you start getting above MacArthur and whatever else, you're still on 23rd or whatever, but I don't think that's, when I think of 23rd, I'm thinking like from East 20th up to, matter of fact, I throw Junkie Hill in there, from East 19th up to East 27th. I would call that the 23rd. I know. Anything above East 27th, I think that's some different stuff. 26 is pretty much above East 23rd. And they're not a projects, they just a collection of apartment buildings. And people don't ever talk about them collections of, it's like a whole block of apartment buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, the apartment buildings got these big ass wide open like parking lots, right?
Yeah.
Them dudes be inside them parking lots and, you know, they got a gate or whatever else. It's not the projects, but it might as well be. Okay, San Antonio Park is 16th and Foothill to 18th and Foothill. Most of the people from the Twomps went to school at Roosevelt, and Roosevelt is right by San Antonio Park. Now, when I was younger, the reason why I used to kind of steer clear of San Antonio Park, it used to be a lot of hypodermic needles and drug paraphernalia, and you know, it just wasn't clean. I spent more time in like the Infirmary, and the Infirmary is in West Oakland. I spent a lot of time in the Infirmary Park. I spent a lot of time in McClymonds swimming pool. And when I hear certain songs, it just take me back to them times. Whenever I hear any Charlie Wilson, it takes me back to my climates. Because whenever we used to be getting ready in the morning when that water was cold and they was warming up the pools and whatever else, and we was out there taking them cold showers trying to adjust to the cold air, you dropped a bomb on me. You should always be playing for
You
something.
dropped a bomb on me, baby. Yeah, it's a classic. I was searching on I was looking through Instagram. The lead singer the SOS band just turned 82.
SOS band, man.
They had
You know
hits.
what?
boy.
Listen. So y'all be just like, oh, them old people just listen. Them songs was playing during a very challenging time when the SOS band was popping. And they didn't have just one hit, they had a bunch of them.
I don't understand how black folks do not know. I knew the SOS band ever since I was a kid. I don't understand how people do not know.
That's during the era when I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, you talking about an era full of geniuses, though.
Yeah.
They be saying, what do you mean? I mean, yeah, the SOS band is fire, but Slave was out at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, Weak in the Knees.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of hits. A Cameo was out at the time.
Can't forget Loose Ends too.
Loose Ends was out at the time. You got me hanging on strings. You had it was the damn Whispers was still popping. The OJs was still popping. Earth, Wind and Fire was still popping. You got Michael alive. You got Prince alive. The 80s was it's just too many hits. You got Chaka Khan right there. You got Patti LaBelle right there. You got Diana Ross.
Hey, I know I done got a little old tonight because when I'm cleaning up, man, that song get me going. When I hear that, ain't nobody does it better.
That's a classic. But listen, same year, right? You got her and Melly Mel, Chaka Khan, let me rock it, Chaka Khan. Let me rock it. That's all the woman. You got Through the Fire. You got too many hits.
Mm-hmm.
Too many. We was listening to the Bar-Kays. It was just too many. We was listening to Sam Ready for the World. We was listening to Babyface and L.A. Reid and The Deal.
After 7.
After 7 came later. After 7 is more like 92. And that their big song in 92, because I was locked up when the bitch came out. It was in the heat.
Can't Be Ready or Not, because Ready or Not was in the 80s.
In the heat of the moment.
Okay.
In the heat of the moment, baby, I lost my head, lost my mind, didn't know what to. It was just too many songs out. Too many hits. Bobby Brown was popping, New Edition was popping. It was too many. Too many. That's why when people be talking about what's the best era of like R&B, they got some good people now. But those people would tell you they can't mess with the 80s. They trying to recreate the 80s in a new modern way, or they trying to do Afro beats and
I hate when people, I don't know if it's just me, but when I hear people try to sample something from the 80s or the 90s today, it just does it a disservice to me, because I'm like, y'all are not going hard. Y'all making it for the new generation, but this sounds terrible.
Yeah, so you'll have them like sample Jodeci or Biggie or one of those, and these fools got a drill rap on it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They done sped it up and put them drill drums on it. I be hearing, hey, but listen, they is doing their thing, man. I guess it's creative, because I remember back in the 80s, what you had in Vogue. As soon as they came out with Hold On to Your Love, LL came out with Booming System.
Yeah. That's crazy, because that sample, that was the Big Payback, I think. They both sampled that.
That you're saying that Hold On to Your Love was a Big Payback?
Yeah.
Boom,
boom, both of them, that drums, that snare and that drum sound.
Boom, 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 boom.
The same thing.
don't know.
Same thing with Total Can't You See? They sampled the Big Payback too.
Come on in. Grand rising queen, shine like you mean. Forever may you gleam. You are everything.
Good morning.
Good morning. I
What's
love
up?
your
What's up,
introduction.
Mahogany?
Good morning. Good morning, both of you. I'm so glad I caught you. I don't have long. I'm getting ready to go to work, but I had to catch you. So I see. I don't know if you had a chance to look at my video. Did you?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I did. I did. I left a comment saying because I was asleep when you had made the live. Because I work at night, so I was asleep in the daytime when you made it.
LA Project told me, but I'm definitely interested in doing this show with you. Would you consider it?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Well, that would be great. I just kind of started a new job, so I'll have to. Do you want me to give you my I don't really care if you leave me a public message and we can schedule a time, or I can give you my email. Either
Yeah, you can
or.
just put your either or you can just put your email in the back.
Okay. I'm gonna do that right now. Let's see. Sorry, I'm sorry, Nightish. I had to catch him, okay? I had to catch him.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
So since you're up here, Mahogany, because me and Nightish was talking about music, this is my OG, this is who I kick it with to talk about. What do you think was the best era when it came to music, the 80s, the
Oh.
90s, or
I am such a music lover, and that's a question I flip flop with. I do like the 90s, but I and then I flip flop with genre too. I like a little bit of everything. So I like hip hop. I love hip hop, and but I also like R&B. Like I just got up here, so I don't know all the groups you've mentioned. I loved H Town. That was one of my favorites. But I also like with this whole new Michael Jackson thing coming back, which it never left me because I was always a huge Michael Jackson fan. I also liked like the late. I was born in 1979. Okay, I'm 47 years old. So even though I was born in the 70s, technically, I still feel like the music I mostly listened to was in the late 80s, 90s era.
yeah,
So yeah. Um, but my mom, I remember that was a big thing in our household. My family's very musical. My mom and my brother sang in the church, and as a matter of fact, my brother was a part of an R&B group in the 90s. I Need Child. He was actually really, really good. He had a very nice voice. As a matter of fact, him and his best friends, they sang the song. My mom had us into a lot of little things. Like we actually auditioned for Star Search. We did. She had us audition for Star Search. She put me and my brother in like we did commercials when we were younger. She had us with a little modeling agency when we were younger. So we did we actually got into entertainment when we were young. But yeah, he had a group, and I think he sang like that boys. They sang that Boys the Men song. Um uh 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 uh. uh. But I remember
Wow,
you
that.
know what's
guilty.
you know what's funny?
It's a little bit slower than that. It's ah
uh,
ah.
Feel me, honey.
hey, you know one thing I didn't know, Mahogany. Do you know Boys to Men got their name from the New Edition song of the same name from Boys to Men?
Oh yeah, I remember that
Growing up
lyric.
can be a pain.
That was
Yes.
the song, wasn't it?
Oh my God.
And
And that was one of my
mothers.
brother's favorite groups. I love Johnny Gill. Johnny Gill was one of my favorite
Johnny Gill, the
singers.
man.
Yeah.
Johnny Gill, the man. And another thing, if you notice, like, because the thing that gets me today is that a lot of black people don't have soul like they used to. You know,
Mm.
it's like soul is forgotten.
Oh
But
yeah, our best singers come from the South and out of churches.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
it's true. And then they switch over. Because that's the
And
time.
then
Mhm.
at that time period too, it was about the talent. So you had people really had to learn, you know,
Well, you went into, like, for example, Stevie Wonder went into Motown pretty much. Barry Gordy, Smokey Robinson, Donna. So you went into a family of people that taught you media savvy and all this other stuff. They don't have A&Rs and none of that stuff no more. If you're not already popping, the industry ain't really messing with you. We in the time right now where you got to be entrepreneurial with whatever it is you're doing, because they closing all the doors behind you. If you can't figure it out yourself, you're gonna be ass up.
Yeah, the bar is set so low when it comes to music, in my opinion, compared to back then.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, even though I like the beats and all the stuff they got going on, but let's be honest, a lot of the stuff is has been enhanced not just with AI, but with just advancement in music. That I watched the documentary about Prince and how he played all his instruments. He learned and taught himself his own instruments, and then he played the background, the vocals, like, and so did Michael Jackson. They did a lot of their own stuff themselves, and that, I mean, that is very, 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 very hard to do. I was listening to an old Michael Jackson song, some of his songs that he did where he did that, um that didn't really, hit the charts. They were good songs, but they never hit the charts. And Prince, a lot of his songs, because it's just, I'm a nerd, I like to look things up. um the fact that he created all those layers to his music, and people just don't even really understand how deep that is, because most artists do not do that. They're not playing the guitar, they're not playing the piano, they're not jumping in doing they're not doing as much as what they used to do. But I'm gonna go because I gotta get dressed. But basically 18th, and my email is actually public. It's my name at gmail.com. I do
Okay.
sell, just
Yeah,
so
I
you
got
know.
it.
Okay.
Got it
All
right
right.
here.
Well, I'm gonna let y'all go. Thank you, Honey Bun.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. I'll see y'all soon.
All
Uh-huh.
right, Mahogany.
All right. Bye bye.
Okay.
So Prince played every single thing, and his alter ego was Morris Day. Everything that you heard the time play, Prince made it all, and he gave it to them, and they played it. But Jungle Love, all that other stuff, and even
Hmm.
the character, that was all Prince. Prince was like Andy Kaufman, and Andy Kaufman used to have this dude that looked like him, that was like an overweight lounge singer. That would be kind of be what Morris Day was.
Oh, okay. Wait,
Because
who was that? Who's that? The Prince right there. What was that one song? 7778211.
everything.
Okay.
Now, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis was a part of the time. They musicians also, but yeah, Prince played everything. What's going on, Deacon Dave? What's going on? Somebody else crept up in here. What's going on to Y High SD? Yeah, it was a lot of So if you come out of the Motown machine, you got a bunch of people helping you write and do whatever else. Like I asked somebody before, I think I said what's up to Ronnie already. A lot of people don't know that Michael Jackson got that screen from James Ingram because James Ingram was over there with Quincy Jones and all the other stuff. It used to be James Ingram, Patty Austin, and all of them. Uh, he got dance moves from Jeffrey Daniels from Shalimar. He got dance moves from Fred Astaire, from Sammy Davis. He got dance moves from James Brown. Michael and Prince both was amalgamations of people you know already.
Yeah. Michael, because I saw in the documentary, Michael got some of his dance moves from a black movie that was about a cowboy. About like it was these cowboys, and one of the dudes in there was like dancing, like, and when he would show up, like he would do the little tippy toe thing that Michael did, where he jump on his tippy toes and all of that. And he was doing, I can't remember what the name of the movie was called, but he got it from an actor in there, and he.
Yeah, but you got to understand the people that was around during that time. You had the Fabulous Nicholas brothers. The one that survived was the dancing director for the people that was in the Five Heartbeats. He was teaching them how to tap dance, whatever else. He let's see, we talking about Michael. So you got Sammy Davis, You got Gene Kelly singing in the rain. Because Michael used to show all the little, clips of the leaning gangsters, the walking on the tiptoe like an old mob. Think about the old Looney Tunes cartoon. Remember when the little
Yeah,
gangsters come in, they had the
yeah,
top hat, they lean the hat forward, they
yeah,
put their head forward, and they used to walk like that. He was
yeah. And they like walk with that
cartoon.
sidewalk
Yeah, 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 yeah,
with their shoulders down.
yeah, 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 yeah. So I mean, it's so many places of inspiration. I be wanting to do people pay attention like that, or is everybody just hard? Everybody just gangster. They not trying to be innovative or creative or none of that other stuff.
I want to give a shout out to Will in the Wind. Shout out to that brother, good brother. And
Um,
shout out to my peoples from the crib.
I think this says Bow Dragon. I need you moderators to be reading these chats when people come up in here with the zesty stuff. Y'all know we had somebody in this chat before named Diddy's Baby Oil. Again, shout out to Mahogany Roots for coming up. What up, Chicago Rilla?
Shout out to my peoples, Rilla. Wild Hunters love Rilla all day, every day.
What's up, Willing to Win? So many bitches. It's hard for me to pick one. But if I got to, I want the rich one.
Yeah, that was a whole that whole era. That whole era was
With the 80s.
yeah,
To
the
me,
'80s,
to me,
the '80s and the '90s. Because
so,
I
so
came up in the
for
'90s.
me, since I grew up with older parents, when I was younger, they was listening to like Otis Redding and James Brown and Sam Cooke, and so that's what I was listening to. And then Pops was into like country and western and like big bands and all the other stuff. So the kind of music I was listening to when I was little was all over the place.
Come on in.
Playing, it's always a treat when players leave. Judge.
What's going on, Simon?
Hey, Nightish, I'll be back. I gotta jump off for a quick minute.
Yep.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little low, but I hear you.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my coming to get me headset. Yo, man. I'm just saying, like, yo, Michael Jackson was the shit, man. And that was down to his parents. Like, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
They try to say his father was abusive, though.
yeah, his father was a, it's like Beyonce's father. The same fucking shit. It's like Serena fucking Williams. Same shit. You know what I'm saying? But at least they became something. Like, abusive in what time? You know? So, you know, most parents are fucking abusive. Just to keep their children in line. You know? But, you know, who portrays what abuse is and this, that, whatnot? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo.
Abuse is abuse, sir. Abuse is abuse.
Nah.
You don't think abuse is just abuse?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really do that myself.
You're a parent, right? You're a parent, right?
I'll never lay my
You're
hands
a
on
parent,
nobody.
right?
Yeah, I'm a parent.
Right. Have you ever whooped your child with a race car track?
No. I got whooped up.
An extension cord.
No, I ain't laying my hands on nobody.
Wait, 1 second. A switch.
No.
Well, that's what kids are getting whooped with.
No, what this
Extension cords, wrist car tracks, big leather straps.
We don't know
switches.
That.
No. I lived it and saw it with my own 2 eyes.
Yeah, but that's you.
I've been whipped with stuff that break your skin.
Yeah, but that's you. I'm not saying that. I get that.
I said I lived it and watched it. It wasn't just me.
I'm just saying, like, it's a different time. You get what I'm saying? And like,
when were you born? The 80s?
No, the 70s.
70s. You're saying you never got whooped with a extension cord or
my
branch?
No, my mother was creative. to say the least.
She was what?
Creative. with that
Korean?
shit. Creative.
Creative.
Yeah. With that
Okay.
shit.
She
She
made
used to
you
say to
stand.
me,
She made you stand. She made you
she
stand on
used
the
to say,
wall,
yeah,
stare
she
at the
used to say to
wall.
me, if I don't shed blood, the government ain't gonna do nothing. My was a fucking beast. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, I get it, but I'm just saying like it's just a different time.
I
But
know
you know,
y'all be hella
the
dismissive with it's a whole
you know
different
what
culture.
it is. It needs to be
Um,
creative. You like you're saying about you know the switch, but it's just like my mother will bring out
David Bowie. Yeah, David Bowie has some good stuff. The Thompson Twins I only like Genius. And who else you said? Who else did you say? Boy George.
oh my god,
Let me see.
that's a
Make
yeah.
mistake number 3, come a chameleon. I don't know. It was a big deal because it was on the
I know
videos, one
Boy
of them.
George.
But I
I
never
know.
really been into culture club like that.
Yeah,
I
I know
know
all of
I
that.
know who he is.
Yeah, I know him like in person.
Was it
You
culture?
know what I mean?
Wait. It was called
It's
Boy.
Culture Club. It's Culture Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going on, Nice?
Uh, laid out on the floor.
Yeah. Do you sleep on the floor sometimes?
No, man,
What
y'all
do you
don't
mean
be
no?
getting.
Why not?
Y'all don't. Why would I?
It's good for your back.
Sound like some pause worthy shit.
You don't know that?
Y'all, y'all be looking at these thumbnails and don't get them. Is that what it is?
I don't
Did you
know.
see this when you came in?
Yeah, of course. You're the OG.
What is that? What is that?
That's some bar in New York.
That is a rug.
Oh, okay. I just saw the
Could
drinks.
you tell that that's a rug?
No.
That's a rug
Oh,
with my
okay. Now I
face
see it.
on it.
Oh, I see it now. I see it now. Okay, I got you. All
That's a
right, I got
rug with my face on it.
you. Okay. Oh, let's get that shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
So when I say
Yeah, yeah.
lay it out on the floor, I'm talking about that rug
I
right
might do
there.
that in my next restaurant. Yeah, I need to get that clip.
I try to
That's
call myself being creative when it comes to these thumbnails. But no,
yeah,
that is a rug of my face
yeah. That's cool. But it'd be
laying on
nice
the
to
floor.
like do it. It'd be nice to like I might put in
Oh yeah, I
my
remember all of them. Sexy Red, Duran, Oingo Boingo.
Jesus Christ. Are you serious?
Let me see. Cause see, that's that MTV stuff. That's that VH1 stuff. So that was the end of hair bands. So what you had Chicago, you
Right.
had NXS, you had the Rolling
We don't pay attention to
Stones.
that shit though. Well, not
Huh?
for real. Like we don't. We don't pay attention to that shit.
It has nothing to do with the 80s though. The 80s was about Meatloaf and Paul Simon and Neil Sedaka and Genesis, and it was a bunch of white groups. Peter
Yeah.
Cetera, all of
Yo,
that.
give me a sec. My baby calling now.
No, hair bands would have been like Motley Crue and who was the hair bands? What was them two that was always they was fighting about the new lead singer and a dude that sing Maxwell Jump left the group, and then they had a fat dude that came along with the I can't remember all that crap. But yeah. Uh and I don't know a lot of Simply Red songs, but he tried to remake, who did he try to sing? I think he tried to sing a Teddy Pendergrass song or something. But what he had, I Keep Holding On. Shout out to Simply Red. I don't know a lot of his songs though. But you had Joe Cocker back then. I can't even keep up with all the hair bands though, because all that shit is starting to fuse in together now. This is one band. But I remember the hair bands, they had that long ass hair. Screaming to the top of their lungs. Welcome to the jungle. When my kids was way later on, they was listening. George Michael was in Wham. U2. I guess that's the 80s. Kiss, I guess that's Kiss. I think I remember in the 70s, but I guess that could be the 80s too. ACDC. I guess that's the 80s. But like I said, this shit is all merged together now. But I remember back then, what we was listening to David Bowie. We was listening to I Can't Get to Sleep. I think about what was they called? The song was called Overkill. The group was called what they called the Police. Day after day we appear. Night after night, my hobby shows. I think that no. The Police was Sting in them, right? They were called what was that group called? Dude with the crazy eye. Men at Work. Thank you, Sam. Men at Work. I like a lot of Men at Work songs. I like what's dude name? I like so much odd music when I was younger. But like I said, I'm half sleeping, whatever. But the song was called it was so many damn odd songs. But yeah, I wear my sunglasses at night. Pink Floyd is the one who made We Don't Need No Education, leading kids along. Then you had the Art of Noise with all the crazy ass sounds. It just was, overwhelming. Then when my kids were younger, they were all into like Green Day. I think the 90s was the Chili Peppers, the Verge, Oasis. I can't remember all this crap. Like I said, Kaja Gugu had a song called Too Shy Shy, Hush Hush, I Do I. I was listening to all kind of crazy stuff back then. When I was younger though, all the like R&B lovey-dovey songs, I couldn't mess with them. But later on in life, I grew to like them. But like I say, the 80s was just engulfed in talent. You had the bars. You had Parliament Funkadelic. You had the Commodores. This is music coming from me from every direction. Anyway, we was looking at the history of Oakland. That ends in GU. Want to put that over here. Is it in GU? But before that city of Oakland thing, we was looking at. Let me rewind the video and remember what that was. I came on and we started with a clip a JP talking about bullshit. Let's go back and see if we can find that. JP was on Wish Doctor Show History. What was that clip called? Let me go back and look. History. Because we need to put that link in the description so y'all can go look at that. The you know, JP's philosophy. He was saying something about drug dealers or something. They had what did he say? They have swag and whatever shit he be saying. I don't know. But I need to find that clip. Up on the Tuesday, Who All Ugly? That was the show tonight from Witch Doctor. Money Doesn't Buy Respect. I believe that's the clip. That is the clip. Money Doesn't Buy Respect. Let's put that link in the description. Hey, man, I ain't that tired. I got that figured out. Let's see. JP says he has a new channel. 26 subscribers. He needs 50 before he can go live. So hopefully y'all went over there and did that. What did he call it? Did he call it JP and the Family? What did he call that channel? Anybody know what he called that channel earlier? What's going on, No Chaser? Anybody know what JP came over and said the name of that new channel is? Did he say JP and the Family? Is that what he called it? J Prince. And the Family. Nope, it's not called that. What's the name of that show he came over and said earlier, y'all? I don't remember it. Let's move forward. Let's play this clip. I think Simon would be interested in this clip. When tomorrow comes. Wow. Let's do this right here.
Absolutely. So the charges in this story.
Let me see. Pull it on up. This way Simon could hear it loudly. Full screen. We on screen.
Are disturbing, and I just want to say that before we get into it. Reality TV personality Sydney Starr is behind bars in Fulton County, facing severe felony charges involving a minor. Hateville police arrested the model and television personality whose legal name is Sydney Favors on Sunday at the Embassy Suites on International Boulevard. Police say Favors is charged with sodomy, sexual battery against a child under 16, and aggravated child molestation. Starr, known for her appearances on reality and drama series including Baddies and Empire, remains held in custody at the Fulton County Jail. Investigators confirmed that the case has now been handed over to the Fulton County District Attorney's Office for prosecution, and due to the victim's age, police say that no additional details will be released regarding the case at this time.
So folks are obviously looking at a picture.
What is your opinion about Sydney Starr's allegations? I think he's asleep, y'all. This is a show. So I think Simon came up here to go to sleep. So Since Simon has nothing to add, we'll go back down to me.
That a Fox 5 Atlanta viewer had sent to us from, it looks like, is this one from when she was arrested?
Yes, this is from her arrest on Sunday at the Embassy Suites. One of our viewers sent us this picture and sent us a little bit about the investigation, and so we reached out to Hateville Police after that and got confirmation of her arrest.
Yeah.
Talk about Weirdo of the Year award goes to Sydney Starr, bro. Now, if you're not privy, first of all, Sydney Starr was born a man, right? But if you're not privy, Sydney Starr was kind of one of the early, like, stars, no pun intended, like, when it came to virality. Like, not just regular virality, like, the world started. So, we've had viral since we had the internet, right? But when virality could turn you into a star and you could branch it off, was during the World Star days. And that was around the era that Sydney Starr made the claim that he and Chingy was messing around. After he didn't disclose to Chingy, you know, he was born a man and he took the picture. And a lot of people believed it, bro, at that time. Believe it or not, a lot of people believed that shit. I even believed it. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, Sydney Starr ended up apologizing and came out and said it was straight a lie.
How did you meet Chingy initially?
Okay. I met.
And it was too late. After Sydney Starr destroyed Chingy's career, it was too late. Apology was too late. Now, that was a man being an imposter trying to say that it was a woman. But I see a lot of women that signing NDAs and all this other stuff that's setting dudes up. They talking about it with Adrian Broner and whatever now. And you would think they'd stop the women and the strippers and the partying and all of it. Nope. The party not over. Everybody know this ancient history about Sydney Starr and Chingy. Destroyed Chingy.
In the piece. He was still with Ludacris. He was still with like in the public eye. He was a relevant rapper, is what I'm saying. And that right there, that was like Undertaker doing a tombstone. You know what I'm saying? But Sydney Starr came back all them years later on Vlad and cleared it up and said, and did, I mean, been clearing it up since then, but it's like, bro, you saying sorry, but I can't get my career back. Or I can never get back to that time. We can't jump in a spaceship, a time machine, and go back to them days and just restart right there and eliminate that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was highly scrutinized for that, and nobody even knows that it was the truth at that time. Now we know it wasn't the truth via Sydney Starr, and you know, I just feel like this is what you did. Well, first of all, don't know Lil Wayne deserve what he was doing to, you know. I don't even want to say too much on this video, but what he got arrested for in this video, I don't even want to say the word. I don't even want to, but you know what I mean. Don't know. That's, you got to protect the kids, bro. Protect the kids, bro. Like, and I read some comment that said he be on OnlyFans. Somebody in the comments. I'm gonna see if I can go find the comment. It was on Reddit, I think. It was like, yeah, man, all them. I guess he got OnlyFans. Sydney Starr has OnlyFans.
What's going on, Yeti Life? All these people that y'all would consider degenerate have a following. They're very much so impactful. As much as y'all hate JP going on panels, calling y'all bitches and whores and all of that, he has a footprint. And he don't give a damn about your channel. He's still gonna go left. He's coming to dominate it. Virality. He want to go viral.
And they said that's what he was doing. Now, I don't know. I'm damn sure he tapped into that OnlyFans, but I wouldn't be, if you're getting arrested for it, they already passed it along to the DA. I mean, guess what, though? You right where you want to be. You right where you want to be, up in prison, and right where you need to be, too. But all the men in there, yeah, they might have a field day. All the body man, they might have a field day. You hear me? And you reap what you sow. You know what I'm saying? You're in there doing the unthinkable to the little ones.
I don't think Sydney Starr give a damn. especially if they don't throw him up under the cell. Say the babies, throw him up under the cell. Gotta get at least 2-digit numbers.
And now these niggas finna go do the unthinkable to you, and don't let you get to prison. I don't even want to say I'm gonna predict how it's gonna go if City start to go to prison, but I think I know how it's gonna go. I'm talking about the rest of his life. Like I already know how I've seen this before. I'm telling you, this nigga going in there looking like half a woman. Nigga, what? Them body team is some of them. I'm not saying everybody's body team, but you got in Atlanta? I was locked up in Wright Street. I'm over in Wright Street. Yo, this how thrown off I was in Wright Street. All right, so anybody who been locked up in Wright Street, right? I don't know if they still got it, but they have the towers, like the tall jail, which is what you call the tall jail. Then they got the old jail, which is like a dorm style. You know the jails you see on the old movies, like bunk beds. And you know, if your charges, if you're gonna go home, they'll send you over there. You know what I'm saying? You like, but if you on your way to the joint to prison, you probably gonna be staying up in the pit. And I've been in both of them. Which is not that proud to say. Multiple times I've been in both of them, but it was a nigga. It was a nigga. I never forget this, bro. I was showering with when I first went there. I showered with my whole outfit on, nigga, because it was like niggas just like some zesty looking blonde hair, box fade, short little.
Hey man, if it's going down, it's going down. You showering in your clothes ain't really gonna save a whole lot. But I've seen a lot of people do the little shower in your clothes situation. Matter of fact, they were showing what's his name? Honeycomb Brazy. They were showing him in prison. He was in complete clothes, scrubbing down, getting soapy and sudsy, fully dressed. I'm trying to think. Did we have a shower on the bottom floor and the top floor? I don't remember no more. I don't remember anymore. But it was one person can go in the shower at a time. We was in a dorm with bunks. I believe it was 16 doors to a dorm, so it was 32 people. And I'm trying to remember, was it one shower or two showers? And I'm also trying to remember when was shower time. Because a little bit of that time I was in administrative segregation. That's 23 and 1. I would use my one to, talk on the phone or shower. Oh shit, the damn thing that came loose. I gotta replace all this crap. This all done got old quickly. Damn earpiece keeps detaching. I have to keep reattaching it. I know y'all saying that the mic is low. That's some technical issue. I gotta figure out. I don't know what's going on with that. I might need to go into the main settings and turn the volume up. Cause right here on the XLR, the volume is good. But I do see the bubble is a little small. So we'll have to figure it out. We keep troubleshooting.
You tell the niggas that's you just already know what time you on. The motherfuckers kept walking past the shower area. They have no, like if somebody walk past and you ask nigga there, they can see you in there. I don't know how they tore that down, but they don't got that part of the jail no more. But if you know what I'm talking, like if you're taking a shit right there or taking a shower, all it takes somebody to look like that. And like it's no curtains, it's just shower heads and toilets, like full toilets, full shower heads, something like that. And I said no, nigga.
Yeah, at the shower we had, it was a door. You could see your feet and you could see your head. I'm trying to figure out, was it just on the second floor or was it on the first floor as well? Well, I want to say it was just on the top floor, second floor, just one shower. And I remember showering every day. I wasn't worried about it. If you come in them shower doors, you got to handle your business.
He ain't getting no free looks off me. Nigga, I shot with my whole niggas was coming out like looking at me like, nigga, yeah, I'm straight, nigga. No, I mean, pun intended, but I mean, like, I'm good, nigga. I'm not losing my mind, nigga. Yeah, nigga ain't getting no free looks on me, weirdo ass nigga. And as I predicted.
What's going on, Angel Earth Love? This is the whole Sydney Star situation. Ain't no chaser. It's like inconsistent. You know, some days I get supported really well, and then some days they just look at me. And I don't want to pressure nobody. I said it was gonna be a short one because I was tired when I started it. It don't look like nobody coming through. Y'all have Sharon in 2 hours. And I'm gonna have to figure this out as well. But I appreciate y'all for being here. Shout out to the 120 people. What the likes looking like? What the likes looking like? What the likes looking like? I got 120 people and 27 likes. Refresh that. $29 likes. I'm not finna hold y'all though. Hey CJ Brooks. Yeah, I'm gonna try to reserve my energy, go take my ass to sleep. Tell y'all I appreciate y'all for even being here. We got some support. We got fasting with the 440 joules. I don't know what that is, but shout out to that. And then we had the 18th letter with the 499 saying shout out to me. We didn't meet our goals, but I'm not gonna bore you people with me being half asleep. I'm going to refresh myself and come back and give y'all a better show a little early today. So, as I often say to, oh, wait a minute, this is what I want to do. I want to fix something right quick because it used to have an auto outro, and somehow it stopped doing that. Where is that at? Does it still have an outro? So it says more, intro, outro, okay. Let's fix this right quick. Like I said to everyone, and I often say, be great.
We'll shut this motherfucker down!
That's all, folks.